Hello, good afternoon all of you. Welcome again to another video of our channel. Welcome back to Sisya class. Today, one of the most important thing that we are going to talk about is DeepSeek. In today's time, everyone is talking about AI and every other feature related to AI. And nowadays, if you see, there are many competition happening across the world in who is getting the best AI feature and best AI model, right? And this war is something that you can see right now in the market, right? And therefore I am here to present you something which is the heat of the market right now. We are going to talk about DeepSeek and we are going to expose that what DeepSeek is, how it is made, who is the person behind that, and how it has made changes in the entire world, how it has impacted US market also. We're going to talk about all of these things in this video. So before that, let me introduce myself to all of you. My name is Ahmed Sheikh. I am a master teacher, senior master teacher at Sisya class. I have more than 12 plus years of experience in teaching and training. I've done my MSc and MSc and B.Ed from Mumbai University, and I am a coding, robotic and web dev expert. Alright, so yes, what are we gonna expose in today's session? Okay, can all of you give me some hints, or can you all guess in the chat section that what are we gonna expose about DeepSeek in today's session? Okay, I want to know from you guys. Tell me. Let's make this interactive session. Okay, let me check this out. Right. So if you want to know anything special about DeepSeek, do add it in your chat section so that I can also cover that also, though we are going to talk about DeepSeek in very great detail in today's session. Okay, fine. Yes, so what are we gonna expose? That's the question, isn't it? So the question is, expose what? So when I say expose, I'm not saying that exposing a scam or exposing something negative, but I'm exposing that how DeepSeek actually work. Who is the person which is behind DeepSeek? Who is the company who is behind DeepSeek? What were their plans? What are their future plans? How are they getting fundings? And how great impact can this create in the global market, right? We are going to talk about all of these things in today's session. So few questions that we have is, first of all, how it works. I am actually gonna open DeepSeek and show you that how this can be practically used so that you can also implement this in your day-to-day life. It can be for personal use or for professional use. All right. Then the next thing is what it is, what DeepSeek is, why is people talking about DeepSeek since a very long time, right? And then the next thing is who developed it and what was the reason behind the development of DeepSeek. The next thing is what's special. Now we all know that there were other AI models in the market also. One of the few is ChatGPT that we all know, right? So rather than we had ChatGPT in the market and it was doing really very well, how did DeepSeek came and created a very good standpoint in the market, disrupting all the other AI models in the competition? So that is something that we should know about. Okay, fine. And then we'll talk about AI race. Okay, you might remember 50 years back there was a race of space missions and space technology, right? There was a race between US and Russia that who gets better, who has better advancement in space technology, right? We can see the same thing once again. I would say that the history is repeating once again. Why? Because right now the race is again the same thing, but the only difference is that rather than the space technology, the race is all about the AI technology, right? And in today's time, AI is a superpower. The person or the country who has the strongest AI will be on the top, right? And this is something that every government in the world is understanding, and therefore every government is creating very good and very impactful initialization in creating AI impact in their country, right? So therefore learning all of these things is really very important. It's something that we should know that what is happening in around our world. Okay. The next thing is we will also talk about Sino-American Sputnik movement. Okay, and I'll explain about this, that why this term have came into picture and what is the meaning of it and how does it impact the global economy. Okay, so I believe this is all clear to all of you, right? So the first thing that we need to say is, what is DeepSeek, right? What is DeepSeek? First of all, we'll understand 2 points. To keep things very simple, we'll have 2 points. Okay, point number 1, it says it is an advanced LLM. Now LLM stands for large language model. Okay, now large language model can be considered as an artificial brain which have been trained and is continuously being trained with lots of data. Okay, with lots of tons of data. Okay, it's kind of like, when this was created, this DeepSeek was launched, at that time you can consider that this large language model was the brain of a baby, right? And then with the prompts that the user gave and the different data that it is reading and going through and learning itself, training itself, right, therefore the maturity of that brain becomes, right? So when I say brain over here, it's an artificial brain, to keep things very simple, right? Okay, so it's an LLM that are both powerful and cost effective, and I would like to mark and highlight this specific word over here, cost effective. Just because of cost effectiveness, it has disrupted the number of users that ChatGPT had previously. Why? Because the development cost of DeepSeek was far more less as compared to ChatGPT, right? And because the development cost of DeepSeek was so less as compared to ChatGPT, the cost that the user is supposed to pay to use its feature was also comparatively very less, which means that more user got shifted from ChatGPT and came to DeepSeek. I hope you're getting my point, right? Correct? Hello, yes. Okay, yes, all right. So this is the thing. I hope so you are getting my point, right? So the cost effectiveness is one of the greatest factor which has made users coming from different AI models shifting their focus more on DeepSeek, and that's how DeepSeek was able to create a very good buzz around the market in AI industry. I believe this is clear to all of you, right? Okay, we'll move to the second point now. Okay, DeepSeek's model are open source. What do you mean by open source? It means that its codes and its model are open for everyone to use without any license, without any copyright. We can use that model and create our own better version of it. Now this better version can be specialized for drone technology, it can be specialized for military technology, it can be specialized for education sector, it can be specialized for law enforcement, it can be used for anything. Now because it is open source, its use cases are not limited. People can use it and modify it in any ways, the way that they want, and imagination is only the limit. So open source makes it very flexible. Okay, next thing is promoting accessibility and collaboration within the AI community. Now AI community comes with a lot of people who are expert in AI, right? And every people might come with different use cases that one single company might not come across, isn't it? And therefore this is the reason why AI community becomes a very strong point over here, which will create multiple versions of DeepSeek AI, and this will give us very good responses as well. So this is all about DeepSeek. Now if you ask me that who is the person, if you want me to name one person who is behind the development of DeepSeek or the visionary behind DeepSeek, let me tell you the name. The name over here is Liang Wenfeng. Liang Wenfeng is the co-founder of DeepSeek. He is the person who is behind the company. Also, before DeepSeek, he has his own hedge fund company which is called as High Flyer. Now, High Flyer is a company which was created by him and his colleagues to create hedge fundings, and these hedge fundings are used as a backup for investment in DeepSeek. Now, if you look about the timelines that these DeepSeek have followed, these are few pointers that I would like to tell you. Okay, so we already know the face behind DeepSeek is Lian Wenfeng, and these are the timelines that we can remember about. The first thing is DeepSeek Coder. The very first released which came from DeepSeek is called as DeepSeek Coder. Now, this was released on November 2, 2023, which means roughly 2 years back. Now, the release of this version was solely for the purpose of coders to help them in programming. So it was programming platform which was AI enabled, which would boost up the productivity of developers. I hope so this is clear. Okay. Now, after that, then DeepSeek created and launched their first LLM, large language model. Okay, this was done right in the same month. Second was when the Deep Coder was released, and right after 27 days the company launched on November 29 about the DeepSeek LLM. Okay, and this created a very good I would say capture in the market when it comes to AI thing. All right, moving on to the next thing is then it launched its version 2, which was released in May 2024, which is roughly 1 year from today, right? Okay, and this version 2 was much more stronger and more brilliant model which created very good results. Now, what was more special about this model? Because a new feature was added which is called as context aware. Okay, now this context aware is something that makes DeepSeek different from all the other AI models that we have in today's time. Let's say that you're talking to your friend. Okay, if you're talking to your friend, you will say, hey, hi Pradeep, how are you? And then Pradeep will respond back to you, right? And then you have a conversation, long conversation, and let's assume that after 10-minute long conversation, while I'm talking to Pradeep, he's saying that sorry Ahmed, what you're saying, I don't remember what you're saying, right? He forgets everything that we've speaking for the past 10 minutes. Then that will be very senseless for me. Like, why did I talk to him for last 10 minutes, right? He have forgotten entire context, isn't it? So same thing was happening with other AI models. Okay, what was happening is that when we were using ChatGPT, right? So while we were writing a prompt, it was giving us some response, but when I wanted something else from the same response, then it was forgetting the context. And because it was forgetting the context, very deep analysis or deep research or deep, I would say, findings couldn't be done. And therefore, DeepSeek understood this problem and they created a new feature called as context awareness. Okay, this context awareness was released in the version 2 in May 2024, and with this, DeepSeek remembers all the conversation that you had with DeepSeek AI model, and then whenever it will curate a response for you based on your prompts, it will also take into consideration your previous prompts and then accordingly give you result. This will ensure that you have continuity in the conversation, and at the same time it will also ensure that the result that you are getting is completely context aware. Okay, now where are the use cases? I would say this can be extremely good for people who are into research, right? Now if you are researching something, let's say for example I am researching something about computer science, okay, and if I am searching today something, right, tomorrow I want to sit again and continue with my research part. If I open my DeepSeek again and continue with the conversation, DeepSeek will remember that what conversation I did yesterday, and the conversation will continue from that point onwards. I don't need to feed all the information from zero once again, right? This was something which was not there in the previous thing. Now also, this context awareness has created a very big boom in the US market. Why? Because DeepSeek's algorithm was so strong. It was so strong that it very accurately predicted the status of US market, and people started to either invest more in certain companies or take out their funds from certain companies, and this disrupted the US market completely just because of DeepSeek's very efficient algorithms, right? So all of these things are something which can so these all things can basically conclude that AI is something which is creating a very big impact in global economy in today's time. All right, we'll talk about the fourth point now over here. DeepSeek's version 3, which launched in December to 2024, which means a few months back, 4 months back roughly, right? In this model, we also had the research feature and the web feature. Okay, and what is this over here? Research feature and web feature. When you write a prompt, and I'll show you that how to write a prompt and use DeepSeek so that you can use this for your benefit as well. Okay, so when you write a prompt in DeepSeek and then you click on reason and then you click on web also, so what will happen is you are basically telling DeepSeek model to not only use whatever information you have stored in your brain, and when I say brain, it means LLM, okay, in your brain, but also check for internet for new information also. So what DeepSeek will do is, first of all, it will go to the internet, it will very fastly read everything that it can find related to the topic that I have. Okay, it will gather all the collection, then it will see my prompt. Then regarding my prompt, it will see that what is the information that I want, and then from the information that it collected from the internet, it will filter out all the details and curate its answer. Then it will use information from its brain and merge that together to create a finalized answer and give it to me. All of this happenings in seconds. Imagine that, right? Now this will also revolutionize the way we are using search engines. Okay, now previously, if you go back to the year 1999 or the year 2000, at that time the search engines like Binge or Yahoo or Google all were the top search engines at that time, right? Okay, over time Google took over and created a monopoly in search engines, right? Now search engines initially were completely based on keywords. Let's say, for example, if I'm searching fb.com, right? In that case, what will happen is the search engine will look for all the places in the internet across all the servers for places where FB is written, right? And then it will give me all the results, and from the results I'll need to decide that which link I'm supposed to click, right? With evolution of search engines, what happened is then we came with context aware search engines, which knew that basically did indexing of some pages, and indexing basically means that ranking of pages. These ranking of pages was actually done based on how many traffic are we getting on a certain web page on a daily basis, right? And the correctness of the information over there, right? And how many clicks are happening in that specific website, how many active users do we have in that website, and based on this rank the result would appear on the top, right? Then moving ahead to more advanced search engines is where we have SEO enabled search engines, which use very specific keywords to get certain web pages. I feel right now that the time is very close, that we are about to see the time where the I would say the age or the era of search engine is about to finish. Why? Because rather than getting thousands of results through a search engine result, we will be having conversational search. Now what does conversational search means? Conversational search means that you will talk to the computer in a way as if you're talking to a person. The only difference is that this computer will be highly intelligent and will be very context aware. Have you seen Iron Man movie, right? You might remember Jarvis, isn't it? Jarvis knows everything that surrounds, or that is related to Tony Stark, isn't it? Or the Iron Man, isn't it? Right? Something similar to that is gonna happen with all of us. We are gonna have our own version of Jarvis very soon in the coming days, where we'll not go to search engines and search for things. Rather, we'll just put some voice commands and we'll get very context aware information. For example, let's say that if I'm wearing a smart eyewear, right? So my smart eyewear is actually aware of what I'm seeing in front of me. Okay, let's say that I am in a country of which I don't know the language of. Let's say that I am in Vietnam and I don't speak Vietnamese. Okay, so these smart eyewear can on the go in real time translate all the hoardings which is written in Vietnamese in real time, right? So this is something which is called as context aware, right? So this is something, and this is just one use case that I've mentioned. There are tons of different use cases that we have. Okay, so yeah, we have talked a lot about DeepSeek. Why not we go ahead and check how DeepSeek can use, so that you can also use this in your day-to-day activity. Okay, so I'm gonna show that how this can be done. So in order to open DeepSeek, what you're gonna do is you are first expected to go to your open any browser of your choice, and then accordingly then you need to search over here deepseek.com. Okay, that's how simple it is. We'll do once again. Alright, so this is deepseek.com. Okay, and once you land to this page, you'll get two options. Okay, start now and get DeepSeek app. Okay, you can use any of these two options as per your preference. Okay, I would to show things a bit quicker, I will click on start now, and this is how the interface will look like, and will ask you basic questions. Okay, here what I'll do is I'll just enter any random date. Alright, so this is how the interface will look like. Okay, when you use DeepSeek, this is the area where you will be adding some prompt, and one thing or more that you can add is some attachment files. Okay, so if you want to add a PDF or an image file or an Excel file that you want to get worked upon, then in that case you can attach that file over here. If you think of, if you remember about 2 points that I've mentioned that was released in the past 4 months, right? That was DeepThink R1 and Research. So the free version will give you DeepThink R1, but we have R2 also, but that is limited to only paid users. Okay. Now, if you write over here, who is Lian Feng? Okay, so what I'll do is, now there are two things more. Once you have written the prompt, after that you can either select this button to tell the LLM to have deep think. Okay, deep think means it will do a deep research about it. Okay, and then if you want it to search in the internet to get more new information, then you can click on search. But these two things are optional, and the more options you select, the slower the response becomes, because remember this, if you are asking it to search in the web, then it will go to the web, it will fetch all the information, gather all the information, be context aware about what you wanted to know, and then accordingly it will give you the response, isn't it? Right? Okay, then that all will take time, isn't it? Right? Then deep think, it will do deep research about a certain topic, right? So make sure that you use these options very wisely and only when you actually need it, so that you can get quick responses. Okay, In my case, what I'll do is I'll just select both of these two together just to show that how the results come, and then click on upload. So it will take a couple of seconds, and then you will get a response, a detailed response about it. So we have a total of 45 results from the internet. Okay, and it's basically showing us that what it is thinking. As I said, that this LLM is like a human brain, an artificial human brain, right? So it's basically searching and telling us that how it is thinking, and then once it is done with all the thinking process, it will curate the answer and give you the final response. This is not the final response yet. It's just summarizing that all the findings that it got from the website. So it got results from 45 websites in fraction of seconds, and it's now summarizing it. So we have one web page which talk about the birth date of Lian Wenfeng, and all the references of these websites will also be added in your responses. This can be extremely efficient and very good opportunity for people who are into research, because when you create research papers, creating references is something which is really very important, right? And DeepSeek can help you over here. So well, here is the complete biography of Lian Wenfeng. It did a deep think, and then it also is, firstly it completely I would say searched all the results from the internet, gathered all the information, then used its information that it had inbuilt, and then combining all the information together, it used deep think to analyze things in great depth and then give us the results. So yes, if you see, we have entire information about it, about his public recognition, his personal life, about legacy and future goals, vision and philosophy, about founding DeepSeek and AI innovation, right? So in fraction of a second, we got all the information. Now, how is this different from the search engine result? Search engine, it will just give you the result of web pages based on the keywords that we want, right? And then we need to decide that what information should we take from that website and what we should not. Over here, that part is also done by the AI model, right? And therefore, this is why I think that the era of search engine is soon gonna be ending, because now we're gonna have conversational search, not search engine, right? So if you see over here, we have birth, education, everything that you want to know about Lian Wenfeng, you can see over here, right? So I believe that you all will be using this in your day-to-day life to enhance your professional activities as well as your personal activities. Give it a shot, see if you can use it in some great ways. You can also create good content around it, and see how you can create it in much greater and creative ways, right? So well, that's everything that I wanted to say in this video, and I believe that this video was useful for you to understand that what DeepSeek actually is, how it actually works, who is the person behind it, and how we can use ChatGPT as well as DeepSeek over here in the same way, right? And we also understood about the different features of DeepSeek over here, like deep think as well as the web search. Well, thank you so much for joining this session, and I believe that you have enjoyed this. It was useful for you. Make sure that you are liking, subscribing and sharing this to people who might need this, and also subscribe this channel so that you don't miss on important updates like this. Till then, see you, bye bye, take care. We'll come again with a very good video. Bye.